Hello ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. Oh, I've been tinkering for ages to get rid of this little dot here. It looks like it's on the fabric, but it's not. If you see, it's on top and I can't get rid of it. I think it might be a product. No, it's not even a product of the light. It's really bizarre. I don't know what it is. It's a reflection of something. It's not coming from any of the tea lights. Oh, it's coming from that tea light there. So if I remove that, way, let's pop it there. How strange that that little tea light was putting that little dot there. If I put it back, yeah. Sorry, you don't want me to be prattling about with stuff like this, but anyway, I'm back today. So as you remember, I got 3 decks sent to me by Schiffer, Red Feather, and this one is one I chose because I'm really intrigued by this. So it's the Insight Tarot, and as I said, I want to get tarot decks now in particular that provide me with just something different, because I've got an extensive tarot collection. I'm coming up to 500 tarot and around 100 oracles. But I wanted something as a development tool. Now, Stanislav, Russian, let me see if I can pronounce this right. So, Stanislav Reshetnikov, I think is how you say his last name. Reshetnikov? Stanislav Reshetnikov, I think that's how it's pronounced. Was a student of Carl Jung's, and this tarot deck purports to work on a level where if you want to modify your behaviors when you face certain situations, and I'm a big advocate of that because I am somebody who can be quite reactionary to things. So therefore, I want to be able to reframe my reaction to certain situations, because there's that whole thing of sanskaras, isn't there, where it's learned behaviors, and certain situations will trigger those behaviors, and we're not always conscious of it. They just kick in straight away. So this tarot deck has really been kind of I've had an eye on it for quite some time. Now it is a fully illustrated majors, but the minors are pips, although it's not a Marseille. In fact, let's have a look at the back, because it says here, and might need just to put a little bit of light on. So it says, in this exciting 79 card tarot deck of fully illustrated majors and thematic minors, but as you can see, they are quite pippish, but they're describing it here as thematic minors. You will find that structural and logical methods represent the answer to these questions and help readers to modify behaviors to best suit successful encounters with real-life situations. Created by a student of C.G. Jung, so Carl Jung, a pathway to clear divination, messages, meditation, and psychologic practices will resonate with readers everywhere. So it's a nice size set. So it says here, for all reading levels interested in depth psychology, which examines the unconscious, exploring dreams and archetypes. A tarot deck providing a pathway to clear divination, messages, meditation, and psychological practices. So I'm really excited about this. And again, it's something different. Oh gosh. Sorry to wake everybody up, particularly if you're wearing headphones. Let's get rid of that. So I'm pretty sure the packaging is going to be amazing, because Schiffer Red Feather are amazing with their ribbons and everything. Now this is different. It doesn't have the ribbons, but it's really beautiful. I love this Insight Tarot. gorgeous book. Look at that for a book. So it has the magnetic closure. Let's take out the book. Really nice. This is beautiful. It's got like a embossed, really nice Insight Tarot. Look at that image. Really nice. So it says on the back, have you ever noticed that the world around us is just a decoration of consensus reality, and that the most interesting things are behind the scenes in our subconscious, where the true puppet masters reside? This original tarot deck highlighting the practical insights of depth psychology, which examines the unconscious, exploring dreams and archetypes, looks deeply at the self-shadow, heavenly fool, inner child, and other important aspects of humanity. Wow, that purports to do quite a bit, doesn't it? The artwork looks incredible. I'm really excited to have a look at this. So the cards sit inside the box here. We've got a nice way to grab them. Oops, he says. Okay, they are, there we go. Oh, and they're gilded. This is really nice deck. So what year is this? Does it say? It'll probably say inside this beautiful book, and it's a colour book, as you can see. It's red feather, so I think it's pretty new. Schiffer have been using red feather for a couple of years. Oh, it's 2020. Oh wow, so it's quite a new book. Wow. So let's have a look at the book. I'm just going to have a sup of coffee as well. What a beautiful image. Isn't that just gorgeous? I love this raised font as well. So the book is, oh wow, look at that. It's already given me the feels. 176 pages. So Stanislav Reshetnikov was born and lives in Moscow, Russia. He's a graduate of Moscow Medical Academy with a specialization in pharmacology and pharmaceutical marketing. After years of successful work as a marketer for big pharma companies and reaching top positions in business, he shifted his focus to the psychology and surrounding disciplines, especially the Jungian school. This way led to completion of the Moscow Association of Analytical Psychology, Jungian Analysis. Wow. So let's see what we get in this book. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. So we get how to work with tarot cards, the major, the courts, major, minor, and the courts. We've got wands, cups, swords, pentacles, so they're kept the same. And we've got pages, knights, queens, kings, so they're the same. And then the conclusion. So I'm going to sit this afternoon and have a read through of this, because I'm interested in how to work with this tarot deck in particular. Oh, the artwork is stunning. So yeah, this is all about start with a literal description of what is on the card. Here we can see a suffering person, or try to close your eyes and sense the emotions that the card induces in you. You can even let a bodily impulse come through and turn into a kind of hint for emotion. Try to describe it. And these images, from what I'm seeing already, particularly like towards the back, you know, when we saw this image, they do stir up a lot of emotions. It'll be interesting to see how the minors will stir up those kind of emotions as well. So that's the Judgment that we're seeing on the front here, the Judgment card. So with the cards, we are getting the title, Judgment, key 20. We're getting resurrection, so kind of like a keyword, and then the key meanings, so end of death, awakening, mystery of spiritual transformation, and then the time has come. Is that the same with everyone? The Tower, let's have a look. No, it's a continuation. So that's interesting. So because we're getting to judgment, it's saying the time has come. Judgment symbolizes living through a revelation, etc. What you ask about contains the treasure that you seek. So this is really nice. This is really nice put together. The wings are truly yours. And then at the bottom here, we get what the card meaning is in the upright position, which is quite a bit. These pages are nice and thick as well. And then we get some little bits for the reversed position. So this is a really nice book. Wow, and it feels lovely. So that's the book. I will stop at the Hermit and we'll have a look, because I like to do that just to give a bit of insight into how the book reads with the cards. That was stuck to the back. Have I damaged a card? I don't think I have. No. They're quite large. It's a nice thick deck. Schiffer are making, or Red Feather even, some really nice quality decks at the moment. I love the backs. I love this sort of tunneling down effect. Yeah, really like that. In terms of card size, they're going to be wider and taller, I think. Yeah, so there's the size difference. This is a decent sized tarot card anyway. This is a US Games tarot card that I always use as a comparator. So these are decent size cards, which are great because we can see a lot of the images. They do have these white borders. They're not distracting at all. They're quite beautiful and ornate, actually. Oh, this must be the 79th card. So after the world, we get the white card. So we'll have to have a look at what that means when we get there. Beautiful gold gilding. Really nice gold gilding. Cardstock is very, very good. They do have a gloss, a sheen, but they're not sticky at all. They glide beautifully. Wow. Okay, so let's have a look. And it might be nice, actually, just to have some really nice music and just allow the images, just to take in the images. And then at the end, after I've gone through all the cards, we'll talk about a few, and we'll talk about the white card as well. So I'm going to zoom in, and let's just, for now, just enjoy the images. Okay, so I could talk about every card, I really could, and I've chosen quite a few just to give my thoughts. I just wanted to say as well, because as I was turning the cards, I really like this, because if we're talking about, you know, as it said on the back, we're talking about the self, the shadow, heavenly fall, our inner child, and we're talking about psychology. It's about going deep within, and this graphic on the back really kind of gives you that sense of going deep, going within as it pulls you down. I really like that. So many cards that I could talk about that I love. I love this High Priestess, because there you've got, you know, you've got your moons, and you've got these people here either side, crown chakra, so it's that connection with the above, the peaceful sort of, you know, quiet contemplation, but also there's people here in anguish that you can see too. And I love the kind of the universal, there's a wateriness to it, but this kind of universal energy. It's really beautiful. And then in contrast, we get our Empress, which is very earthy, these beautiful flowers, the greenery, just so gorgeous. I love the Hierophant. You know, you've got the sense here of, you know, we've got things like the keys and the symbols within these bookshelves. You know, you've got the little hand here with the little butterfly perch pointing up to knowledge. And here the supplicants are studying, you know, they're at a desk. They're learning from this wise teacher with his immense amount of knowledge. It's really, really wonderful. I loved the Lover's card. Look how the heart right in the middle of his chest here is hollow. You can see straight through, you can see the grass behind. But there are many things that when it comes to the lovers, it's not always about relationships. And look, there's, you know, man's best friend, a dog, a parent, you know, a cup, something that we might have a sporting endeavour or a love of something that we want to do. And we, you know, we fill that void with certain things, whatever it is that we are in love with, whatever it is that gives us joy. And I just think it's so beautiful. And these people in the background trying to catch these flying hearts. Love the Justice card. I like this sort of, there's this balance here. You see this checkerboard here, and there's this battle of the wits, but it's all balancing on these balls and, you know, flat pieces, the swords here. I think it's wonderful. And then this mechanic. This is probably my favorite card. My favorite card in the deck. This Hermit is everything, if not my favorite Hermit ever. I love his expression. You can see from below the eyes, but just opening up his cloak, and there's this inner world, and that's what the Hermit reminds us to do, to go within. And what a beautiful illustration here. You've got this rising sun or a setting sun, and he's standing there and he's looking out, and there is an inner world within all of us. And this is so beautifully illustrated. I like this. At first, when I turned this card, and I thought, that's interesting, this spiral with these multicolours here for the Wheel of Fortune. But look at these people climbing, sliding, you know, it is that turn of the wheel. You know, are we climbing up? Are we sliding down? Are we falling? Beautiful. Love this strength. Such a vulnerability here. She's naked. Look at her hair. And the strength comes from within the gut. You know, it's that inner strength. And she's almost channeling this lion, because this is like a beautiful mane. And it's wonderful. This Death card is so powerful. It took my breath away when I turned it over. I love the fact that it's grayscale. But, you know, death from the cradle to the grave, you know, any time in life, death can come. but there's this newness that comes as well. It reminds us of that cyclical nature of life and death and life. Amazing. Love the devil, these strings, the puppet master. But look, life, and particularly when I studied with the Brahma Kumaris, they really taught that life is drama, you know. And well, there's that old saying, isn't there? Is it Shakespeare? Life is, you know, life is like a play or something like that. We each have our entrances and exits. But, you know, who's pulling our strings? And who for? Who are we performing for? Love the moon. Really love the moon. You've got the triple moon here. But also the illusions. Remember, the moon gives us, it's only half light. And therefore, there's lots of illusions with the moon's kind of half light and the shadows it casts. And here they are looking into these mirrors and they're seeing lots of different illusions back. I think the sun card is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We've got this, the baby off the horse. But, oh, just look at that. Full illumination. And we have judgment, and it's also here, which doesn't appear on the other ones, but we get judgment and resurrection together. Then we have the white card. So I want to have a look at what the book says about the white card. So let's see. What does the book say? So the white card, there's a lot to read, so I won't read it all. I'll just look for the key things. It says, I'm looking at you. The white card is an arcanum without a number and a picture. So it's got these little ... The colour white symbolises concentrated divine energy before splitting up into a colour spectrum. And remember, black is the absence of colour, white is the inclusion of all colour. So if you had a colour wheel with all different colours going around, colours of the rainbow, and it was to spin really fast, it becomes white because it's the inclusion of all colours. Appearance of the white card signifies that a person is forming a new personal universe, and the way he is doing it is under the scrutiny of the supreme forces. God, whatever God is for you, is getting close to a person, bringing plenty of energy. Key phrase, I am concentrated, new meaning. There are special moments in one's life that can be called crucial, so-called tipping points, when one small act can work as a railroad switch. In tarot, they are represented by two arcana, the white card and the fool. I am a blank page on which you are writing your history right now. The future hasn't been formed yet because it depends on some very important decisions of a person. Even if it's hard to understand logically, the challenge of the white card is perceived intuitively. Sometimes it feels like fear, anxiety, or something is happening. I don't understand what it is. Our rational mind is stunned with this divine intervention, as if suddenly the sight is off. I am the frontier of beginning and consent. The white card gives fatality to the meaning received in the tarot setup, reinforcing aspect of those arcana around it. Whether they are major or minor, any energy begins to shine more powerfully, as if there has been a special catalyst added to the reaction of its materialization. And there's quite a bit more, but I'll just read that for now because that gives us the insight into the white card. And then we've got some pips, and I just wanted to just talk about a couple of pips because they are pips, but they're called thematic in this deck, and there are themes. You know, it's not just 3 wands, etc. And look at this, you know, we think about the 4 of wands, and we think about that sort of celebration. And here we've got a rich harvest, haven't we, which is really beautiful. The swift motion of the 8 of wands. And then we really get that sense. Remember the heavy load of the Ten of Wands. And here you've got one white wand, quite fragile, and this weight is really pulling down. So it gives us that feeling of heaviness, that burden that can be placed. So, you know, whilst this is kind of a system on its own, it does nod to RWS as well. Here we've got the 3, the celebration. The 9, you know, the 9 of Cups is really about counting your blessings, seeing that you have and being content. And here, you know, you've got this beautiful table laid out with lots of meats and you know, we should feel content. We should see our blessings. Here we have the 5 of Swords. You know, the 5 of Swords is represented here, that conflict with this serpent, this red snake. And again, the 8 of Swords, you know, the escaping, that feeling trapped. And here, the 8 of Swords are bound by this rope. But, you know, swords are sharp. They could separate and easily slice through this rope. I love the 8 of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, because, you know, it's a little sapling. And that's what the Ace is, isn't it? It's that planting of a seed, that first idea, particularly in the material world, that planting a seed, that first idea, that beginning point. And here we've got this little sapling. What is it going to become? I love the 2 because you've got, with these kind of impressions here, that sort of duality and balance happening. The 3, you know, you've got the tools here. 4 of Pentacles, you know, holding on to your wealth. Here's this chest that is being chained and padlocked. 6 of Pentacles, having to make that discernment, that decision, who gets what. 9, the garden scene. So I see RWS in this. It's a bit like, you know, Pagan Otherworlds, where they are pip, but there's also nods to a system that you might be familiar with. So it'd be a great transition deck if people are wanting to study pips and they've got some underlying knowledge around RWS. And then the Quartz roll at the end, did you notice? But I have to mention the Page of Cups because, as I've said, it's me in the tarot, but it's so traditional. He's got the little cup with the fish in it. So I think this is a beautiful, beautiful deck. I absolutely love it. So this is the Insight Tarot, and this book is great. So I'm going to sit and have a read of this now because I'm really excited to work with this deck because it's gorgeous, really gorgeous. So I've been working with tarot leaves, but what I think I might do is have tarot leaves in the morning and use this in the evening to give me some insight into my day. But yeah, so it's a new deck. I haven't seen much about it. Let me know if you've got it, if you want it, how you'd use it, and your general thoughts. I always love to hear from you all about what you think about some of these decks that I'm showing as well. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope you're having a lovely weekend, and I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And until next time, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.